Hey, hello. Um, I'm back with a totally different story that what I thought I would talk about today. I wanted to talk about a comment that I heard from Nick Fuentes, but I am going to go into something completely different after the meltdown that my toddler of 3 years and 9 months had today. I am very exhausted, and I thought it would be good to talk a little bit about the dynamics in a family and why, to me personally, the whole situation between my husband, myself, and my toddler is so difficult or challenging to bear at times. And the main reason because of it, and this is something that I have come to discover at 47 years old. 10 years ago, I didn't think this way. Not even perhaps 5 years ago, I didn't think this way. But if I could talk to my younger self, or if I could even go back in time, I would do things completely different. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the situation in my household is not a situation where things organically developed. Meaning, the situation in my house was forced. I got pregnant, it was unexpected. My husband was definitely not looking for another child. He already had two broken marriages with children, both of those marriages. Um, I was supposedly not able to conceive children. I already had my mind set into living a single life, perhaps with a partner, but that was kind of like, my goal was just like building a single life of comfort. And all of a sudden, I'm pregnant with this baby. And all of a sudden, we need to take very fast, rapid decisions in order to support this newborn and build the family as we move along and as we kind of like progress through time. And it's not an ideal situation at all because it's already very difficult. And this is something that I was discussing with my friend, my very good friend, today at the park. It's already very difficult to kind of like orbit and establish and deal and love a partnership, a relationship of two. Imagine the challenges that you have when into that kind of like universe you add there some kind of like raw being, a raw being. You throw there in a baby and it's triple difficult. And there are a lot of marriages and unions and families that disintegrate because of this. No one is exempt. It could potentially be that you kind of like have a linear simple life and then you still get separated or divorced or you get into this exhaustion. But I will say that in my mind, and I might be mistaken, I would need to see the statics or if there is some data out there about it. I think it's simpler and it's not as difficult and challenging when things are forced or imposed or abrupt or unexpected. um, because I think that when you follow that kind of like linear more conventional path, that is, you date with purpose, you date with intention. You date with intention. I don't think I ever dated with intention. I mean, I was very much in love with all of my exes, and there was always this idea of having and building projects, but it was never with the specific intention of marriage and family. Never. So I think if you follow that path where you date with intention, you get engaged, you get married, you have a honeymoon phase, and then between the two of you decide that you want to expand and open up the family, the probabilities of that project and of that sequencing are have much of a success rate. Maybe, that's what I think. That's kind of like my intelligence, like intuitive intelligence, tells me. I might be mistaken, I don't know. Versus when you're not planning anything, you're dating casually, you're testing, you're not too sure, maybe it is, maybe it's not, let's give it a try, and then you get pregnant, and then you're like, all right, let's give it a try for real, because this baby is coming. And it can be way much more challenging, as I said, right? Tougher, and it requires a lot of mental gymnastics. I believe me, so much mental gymnastics is crazy, because you can love that person, and you can be willing to really get over those roadblocks and get over those challenges, and but things are thrown into the mix with such a kind of like quick, rapid timing that it can throw you. Is it like someone is throwing you a curveball, like you can catch it, or you can kind of like just be like, whoa, what happened? So the lesson for today, I guess, is that at 47 years old, I regret not having the vision and the understanding of what is really the dating world about, and like not really, as I said, like not really having like the vision of saying like, this is the purpose of this game, and this is how I want to win in this game, and this is what I want. I've never ever thought on those terms, and I regret it. And I regret it not because I regret my current situation. I'm actually blessed. I have my child at 44 years old. I mean, that's crazy. And I got naturally pregnant after, supposedly I couldn't get pregnant. So I do not regret my actual situation. I am blessed and grateful. And, like everyone else, there are moments and moments, right? And I guess today was one of those intense moments, especially after the meltdown my son had. But sometimes we do look at, the time lost, and we do think like, what was I thinking? What was I doing? So if there is any young lady there, younger than 40, I hope this message gets to you, and I hope this is a lesson, or you can get some kind of insight on why there has been this very linear, simple, conventional way of doing things for so long. And I think that the reason for that is because it is easier to kind of, it's more smooth. You can, you know, more softly dive into what is expected from you as a wife, as a mother, and what is expected from you from yourself. So, as someone, a woman that wants to do things, that has projects, has dreams. Yeah, so that's the thing today. I had to lock myself inside the walk-in closet, dark, pitch black, to calm down and breathe in and breathe out, and said this to myself: you are allowed to have feelings. And that's why I think just entering this phase of life more softly can, at the end of the day, give you more resiliency, or at least you are a little bit more prepared than when you just like get this slap on your face and it's like, come on, go. um so anyways, that was the topic for today. Intention, right? Linear, simplicity, conventional, the conventional way of doing things, especially for women. All right, well, thank you, whoever is there. I don't know who is there, but I will continue to do these videos, and hopefully I can get more articulated and more eloquent as time progresses. Thank you. Bye.